So the Michigan legislature is taking serious all the incidents that are happening because of students from China that are coming to Michigan to go to school. Now, most people don't pay attention to it. It barely makes national news, and even when it does, people don't really seem to care. They seem to think that China is, you know, not really a threat. Most people out there go about their lives buying products made in China, not realizing that they're funding all the things that China is doing to this country. They don't realize that all these manufacturers that have sent all of our work over to China are helping the Chinese to force communism onto this world. Now, mind you, there are some of the Communist Party here in America that keeps claiming that they don't respect China. They don't think that it's real communism. But it's these folks that are listening to what the Chinese communists are doing and agreeing with them. As a matter of fact, it's some of those folks that went over to Hong Kong, Democrats and these liberals that went over there during the riots that took place just before COVID was released. And were telling the people in Hong Kong that they were idiots for protesting the Chinese government. Now, we're feeling the effects of it. All this money that we're pouring into China through buying their products, they're using that money to spy on us, to go look at our military bases, to try to bring in biological agents that are not what we're needing to have in this country. So, at least one legislature is paying attention to it. Now, if you want to know what's going on the local, state, or federal level of government, hit like, hit subscribe. I'm going to cover these stories, and you need to know some of this stuff that people are not talking about all that often. So, hit like and subscribe, and let's go.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Now, MLive covered this. Michigan Live covered this. 14 Chinese nationals were caught allegedly taking photos near classified military equipment at Camp Grayling in northern Michigan in 2023. It wasn't an isolated event. Instead, it's part of a constant probing of military installations, the head of Michigan National Guard told state lawmakers Wednesday, November 5th. The People's Republic of China are very active in their information gathering intelligence collection, said Major General Paul D. Rogers, the Adjutant General of the Michigan National Guard. You see it through businesses, you see it through military sites, training. It's not uncommon. I'd almost say it's pretty routine for Chinese nationals to be tasked to go somewhere and actively try to get onto a base, a military base, try to gain entry into a restricted area, and if they get entry, to collect certain pieces of information, whatever it may be of interest. But it's fairly routine and well established that it's part of an active, ongoing, I'll use the word operation on their part. So all that came from General Paul D. Rogers. Rogers gave those remarks before the Michigan House Committee on Homeland Security and Foreign Influence, where he was slated to talk about Homeland Security issues facing the state. Rogers mentioned an incident last year when two Chinese nationals arrived at Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Macomb County and told the guards they were interested in going to the Military Air Museum located on the base. The pair was turned away because they weren't allowed to have access, Rogers said. Rogers acknowledged it could have been a benign interest in military aircraft, but said the pair's return 3 days later suggested otherwise. The fact that those same two individuals showed up 3 days later at the same gate hoping to find a guard that would not be doing their due diligence and try to gain access again using the exact same excuse is constant probing, Rogers said. And it's a little cat and mouse, and they're not breaking any laws, right? So there's nothing that can be done about it. But it's not with good intent. The incident at Camp Grayling, the training facility for the Michigan Army National Guard in northern Michigan, happened during a training exercise in August 2023. About 7,000 military officials, including some from Taiwan, were participating in the live firing exercises. China has consistently challenged Taiwan's sovereignty. An FBI complaint against 5 Chinese nationals, all University of Michigan students at the time, alleges they were found on the base property taking photos near classified equipment and soldiers sleeping in tents. The group was told to leave. An investigation was launched and the students were interrogated. While they weren't charged with espionage, they were charged with conspiracy, making false statements to investigators, and destroying records during a federal investigation. Those charges were filed October 1st, 2024, months after the students, Zekai Zhu, Renzing Guan, and Homing Zhu, Jingji Tao, and Ying Lang left the country after graduating that May from University of Michigan. Rogers said that students were able to be identified thanks to cooperation between federal, state, and local agencies and the establishment of a process of tracking activities. That's how we were able to detect those 5 individuals in the course of trying to collect on training that was going on up at Grayling, he said. And it was through those channels that ultimately fed back to an FBI investigation that identified them by name and then worked through the legal system to put warrants out for them. Incidents like those at Camp Grayling aren't unique to Michigan. In 2021, U of M students from Michigan were caught photographing military and naval infrastructure at Naval Air Station Key West, Florida. They were convicted of illegally photographing military installations and sentenced to prison, federal records show. This is not unusual. It's happening everywhere, Rogers said to Camp Grayling incident, and I think folks would probably be a little shocked how frequently that's going on. The Camp Grayling incident is one of 4 federal cases since October 2024 involving U of M students from China. Experts have told MLive that there's a pattern emerging from these UM cases. October 27, 2024, UM student Hawaxing Gao cast a ballot at an early voting site in Ann Arbor before the November general election despite not being a U.S. citizen. Gao left the country and faces additional federal charges for fleeing the U.S. to avoid prosecution. In June of this year, authorities unsealed federal criminal complaint against UM doctoral student Youngqing Jian and her boyfriend Xunyong Liu. Pardon me, but I'm a redneck. These names. They were accused of conspiring to defraud the United States and smuggling a fungal pathogen called Fusarium graminearum into the country. The pathogen causes rotten head blight to cereal crops. It's considered an agro-terrorism weapon and used a weapon according to the Journal of Food Security. Also in June, a doctoral student from Wuhan University was arrested in Michigan and charged with allegedly smuggling goods into the U.S. and making false statements. The doctoral student, Qingjian Han, is accused of sending 4 packages from China to the U.S. that contained nematode growth medium, or NGM. NGM is a nutrient-rich agar-based material used to cultivate nematoid worms in petri dishes. Nematodes are a kind of roundworm. The packaging clue, according to the complaint, was addressed to the people associated with the U of M lab. Okay, so during the 2023-2024 academic year, there were 277,398 Chinese students enrolled in U.S. universities, according to the Institute of International Education. This number represents a significant decrease from a peak of 372,532 students in 2019-2020, just before the COVID-19 pandemic. So, yeah, there's still declining in U.S. enrollment, but there's still almost 300,000 of these folks running around this country. Now, do I think all of them are spies? No. You send that many over here so that you can't track all of them. Seriously. That's why you send them over here. But don't think that if you don't go on, or don't think that if they're not on this campus, that they're not something to worry about. And here's how they control them. They control them by going, hey, you do something wrong, you try to defect or whatever, we have your family here. Because they don't send them they don't allow them to come to the U.S. unless they have something that they can hold over their heads. The Chinese Communist Party makes sure that they can keep them from defecting. Now, yeah, it sounds good. Oh, we're educating. We've got such good schools that they send them over here to educate them here. Well, on top of that, then you've got U.S. companies going, hey, let's hire them because we can pay them less money than what we pay American workers and get away with it. And the entire time, quite a few of them are stealing technology, quite a few of them are spying. Yeah, they really do have that opportunity. When you have that many of them over here, not all of them maybe, but there's quite a few of them that are spying or stealing technology or any number of things that are going against this nation's interest. But hey, you can constantly say, oh, you're just being racist. I'm not. I'm really not. This is what's going on in the really real world. And anybody that claims that it's racist to be paying attention to this are idiots. Do I have a problem with Asian folks? No. I enjoy Asian culture. I enjoy being around Asian folks because they're some pretty interesting individuals. I could care less about somebody being Asian. I could care less what somebody's ethnicity is. But in this case, it's nation against nation. But the Democrats will lie to you and claim that it's racist to be paying attention to this. Oh, you're just racist against them because they're not white. I could care less what their skin color is. Most of the Democrat Party is white. Most of them are idiot. Most of the Republican Party are white, and most of them are idiot. That's I don't care what your skin color is. I care about what your actions are. And in this case, this is causing more harm than any good that you will ever see a day in your life. But hey, keep buying those Chinese made products. You keep going right ahead and making sure that you're helping finance all the things that are going bad against your country because you don't care. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.